Hello, everybody. My name is Roger, and welcome to the database group 16.5. With me today is Simon, who is our team staff engineer. Hello, Simon.
Hello.
Cool. So with 16.5, our team is mostly operating at full capacity, and our focus continues to be on the initiatives that affect the availability and reliability of GitLab.com and our self-managed instances. We continue to be focused on our medium-term database scaling strategy. And also, we are also concerned with lightweight lock contention on our primary database and something we're looking to mitigate in the upcoming milestones. So for 16.5, our top priority here is to support our Postgres 14 upgrade or post-upgrade sort of processes. I believe over the past weekend, we have cut over to Postgres 14. And I know we did a dry run, or not dry run, we did one previous effect, we had to roll back. So now we're officially on 14. I know based on some previous instances, we had a few post-upgrade elements to support as well. Simon, do you want to touch on like some examples of things that come up post-upgrade that users might need to look into?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're running on a new version of the database software, which includes new features. We, before the upgrade, did a lot of testing to make sure that queries would perform the same on Postgres 14, even though it has new features which might impact query plans. It's possible that post-upgrade, we will see a small amount of query plan degradation, which we might need to fix. So it's important to set aside a certain amount of time for that. Also, during the upgrade, we made some changes to our load balancer, and there are more load balancer changes that are going to come out after the upgrade, and we want to have a small amount of time to work on that as well.
Cool. Next up, we have our table size reduction effort. And I know this has been ongoing for quite some time, both in terms of partitioning and some of the lightweight lock contention, as well as mitigating vacuum time pressures. Simon, I know you had just drafted an update for folks. Do you mind just quickly summarizing where you think we are at and what are some of the upcoming puzzles here?
Yeah, absolutely. So in 16.4, I analyzed how often are we actually taking lightweight locks across the database replicas and the primary database. This is difficult to do because measuring this has a large impact on the performance of the database. So we need to synthesize it from other data so that we don't actually run code on the database. So I have a good idea of lightweight lock rates on the database, and I believe that the primary is well below the saturation metric, so we don't need to be concerned about that. In 16.5, I want to validate this by actually running a test at a low traffic period to make sure that my numbers are correct. And I also think that we can start to remove some unused indexes from the namespaces table. And right now it looks like we'll get about a 2% improvement to lightweight lock acquisition rate for each index we remove. And there are 8 indexes that we can remove for free for roughly a 15 to 20% improvement.
Cool. And am I correctly understanding that by removing these indexes, we also de-risk any partitioning related performance impacts we are hoping to mitigate?
Yeah, absolutely. So well-performing partitioned queries that only touch a single partition do not have an especially large lightweight lock impact. However, we are going to have some lower call rate queries in partitioning that will touch many partitions and have a large impact on lightweight lock rate. So this will provide us headroom that we can then use in partitioning to successfully deliver partitioning without causing database instability.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you for that. So next up, we have primary keys that we wanted to upgrade to begin. This has been ongoing for quite some months now. I think the biggest part here is we're done for GitLab.com and we're almost done for self-managed. I won't really belabor this point because I think we touched on it for quite a few milestones, but it's exciting that this is going to wrap up soon. And I think once this wraps up, we'll probably shift focus to help support some of these partitioning elements as well as the database testing below here. Database testing is something we've been working on for quite some time as well. I think last milestone, we didn't make a lot of progress because of the PG14 upgrade. So I think we're going to come back to this, and having a tangible single report with newly added queries, I think will go a great way to helping us validate that the general technical design works. And Simon, if I understand correctly, I think with this milestone, it will also give us the opportunity to start parallelizing some of the analysis work that we wanted to build on top of that. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. The report that's generated by this pipeline is extremely useful for basically starting to get a view of how would the database behave if we deployed this change to production. And I mean, that's the whole point of automated database testing, is getting that idea. Currently, we can do that for migrations, but we can't do that for one-off queries and finders and web and page loads and things. So getting this newly added queries report is going to be really useful for database reviewers and improving database review across GitLab. And it also can be spun out to help understand how queries will change in response to a proposed partitioning strategy, which is something I'm really excited about.
Yeah. So I think if I could summarize that at a high level, it also will greatly expand the surface area of what we can currently look at and cover for database changes, which I think will be important given that tenant cells is continuing to span quite some time into the future. Cool. Lastly, we have this focus item here of making sure migration should run in milestones and not in version order. I think this is something that we've been ongoing for quite some time now. Progress has been good. Do you have any particular updates you want to offer on this one, Simon, or shall we just leave this for people to read async?
I think Cross has made a pretty good async update here, and I think I know in 16.4 he had a spike with some good prototype code, and it seems like it's progressing well. So I think people can read.
That spike was successfully closed here.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Simon, and thank you everybody else. This is the database team's 16.5 planning.